The Great Ponvyville Bank Heist. The Man with a Plan. It was another glorious day in Ponvyville. The sun was shining, the birds were singing, and the sky was blue-ing. Whatever, Anon lost his junk. Now, he didn't do it on purpose. In fact, he would place the blame of his sudden wiener loss on the pony gods, as they apparently like to point and laugh at concerned mortals for no apparent reason. Exhibit A. When asked why they took away his Shmeat, they essentially responded to his prayer with,
"Oh, you weren't a girl when you were human? Oh, we'll get pranked, loser, haha. Also, questioning the work of any divine is totally a sin, Lamal."
And then proceeded to call upon the wrath of motherfucking Zeus to smite his house. They burned down his house, which had been teleported into Equestria alongside him for asking what happened to his fat juicy maleness, and then laughed at him again. Yeah, real group of wisecrackers they are. Truly so funny. Anon could almost puke from laughing because of how fucking funny they were. Yes, there may be some bad blood between Anon and godly beings, but in his mind's eye, they started it. Anyway, he's piss poor. Well, she is piss poor. They? Look, she didn't have any money, at least not pony money. Her human dollar bills were useless here, so she needed bits. The thing is, nobody would hire her. Her cutie mark was a question mark, which seemed to, of course, only raise questions to what she could actually do. It was a bunch of baloney. She wasn't homeless, thank God, or in this case, fuck God. She shared a house with one Lyra Heartstrings and her roommate Bonbon, but only after she'd promised both of them that she would get a job, which currently was not working. And she tried almost everything, from retail to carpentry to even goddamn substitute teaching. Anon isn't very good with kids, as it turns out. So, there were only two choices that she was left with, at least in her mind. The first, crime. And the second? Well, they say you're not gay until you need money. Anon shivered. She would rather not. Besides, she has a plan that would set her up with enough bits to last more than a whole year. It was a plan to rob the Ponvyville Bank. Now, morally, it was wrong, of course, but Anon knew that the bank was owned by Celestia, who would probably just pay back the stolen funds, stopping the population from suffering. It's a good thing that royalty was fucking stacked, or else she would actually feel bad about committing robbery. Maybe. Now, she double-checked everything to make sure that there was no possible chance of failure. Bandana, fastened. Bag for carrying bits, ready for a withdrawal. Gun, not real, but black and scary. Knuckles, non-existent, but cracked spiritually. Oh yeah, that's robbing time. She could feel her heart begin to race as she approached the front doors. It would probably be the most excitement that she would ever get in her life. She took a deep breath, rerunning the plan through her head once more.
1.
Her fur began to bristle.
2.
She grabbed the door with her magic.
Alright, let's do this. 3.
She threw open the door. Everything went wrong so fast. As soon as Anon crossed the threshold of the bank, she froze in shock, which turned to horror. Her heart felt as if it had plummeted off a skyscraper when she locked eyes with everyone in the room. She began to shake. Celestia was there. The bank was holding a fundraiser, and because Celestia was there, so were her fucking guards.
Oh.
Anon may have escalated the situation from there. She also may have let panic cloud her judgments, and she might have thought to herself, fuck, what would a real bank robber do in this scenario? So, she might have taken a hostage. Yeah, she totally did. Anon decided on a rather downtrodden-looking gray earth pony as her hostage because she figured, well, he already looks like he wants to kill himself, so why not? But now, he was stuck with a really sad hostage.
Back off! I swear to Pony Christ, I will end this little gray-haired loser!
You'd be doing me a favor, man.
Shut up! You're supposed to be pleading for your life!
Her voice squeaked. The dude hadn't even tried to stop her when she wrapped her hooves around him and placed the gun to his temple. I have no life to plead for, he droned out rather lazily, his eyes staring blankly at the floor.
Come on, man, lighten up, will you?
Anon mumbled.
Let the stallion go!
Anon flinched at the royal Canterlot voice projected from Celestia. The shock almost made her drop her gun.
No, you daft bird, he's my hostage!
Anon shouted, causing the stallion to sigh, the sound coming out shaky as if he was a second away from a breakdown.
Hostage or not, sometimes it feels good to be held.
His voice cracked. Anon's grip on the gun slackened just a bit, her eyes focusing on the pony in her grasp. Her face scrunched up.
Jesus, dude, are you like... okay?
The stallion whimpered, his eyes starting to shine with unshed tears. He shook his head as his bottom lip quivered.
There's only so many times you can respond to the question, how are you doing? With living the dream before you just want to wake up.
He started crying. Anon was not ready for this. This doesn't happen in the movies. How is she supposed to handle this? She pats his shoulder.
There, it's gonna be, fine.
Celestia began shouting again.
You fiend! Stop hurting him! I'm not you belligerent fat-ass sun worshipper! I am the sun! Well, you're certainly big enough to be the sun! Hey!
Meanwhile, her hostage didn't make a sound. Not a single sob escaped him, he just kept crying. He was like a never-ending fountain of tears. Stop! Everyone's attention fell onto the hostage when he shouted. The pony paused before once again regaining that dull look. He shrugged, another sigh escaping him, this one exasperated. He began to vent seemingly unaware or uncaring of the attention.
My emotional stability has teetered past the edge. I've fallen so far that I can no longer see the light. My heart burns with the agony of 1,000 souls. I'm so young, and I feel as if I've passed the mortal threshold for sanity. I can feel that distance between each dose of serotonin increasing day by day. There is no hope for me anymore. No joy, no love. All of my bread is stale, and my peanut butter has been replaced with mustard. There is no salvation for me. Only the cold, sweet embrace of death. But what happens after that? Paradise, perhaps? Or maybe the abyss?
What in the name of Faust?
Celestia muttered, gobsmacked.
Faust.
He chuckled humorlessly.
I've prayed for a better life than the one I have. And Faust has continued to spit in my face, day in and day out. My coffee grows sour with each day that passes. Not because I've left it out overnight, but because that small little joy I once gained from drinking it each morning, it no longer gives me comfort. It now only reminds me of the dull, repetitive sequence my existence has become. The pain keeps increasing, yet the pleasures don't. The everlasting motivation of chasing my dreams has crashed into a burning wreckage of morbid nihilism. My own mirror shows a monster that no nightmare could have possibly created. I no longer pray for the light because all I know is darkness.
The stallion scoffed, which made Anon flinch slightly.
When it is all said and done, when the sun is burned out and the moon has crashed into the planet, I will have achieved nothing more than my fellow pony. I'm not extraordinary, nor above the average accomplishments of any pony else. With the sands of time, I'll just be forgotten. Every hope and every dream washed away in a sea of cosmic non-understandability. I watch the days go by, unable to control the rate at which they do. They blend together. There's nothing new to glean, just another day of doing the same thing. Why? I gain nothing from following a schedule. Why should I even try to think ahead when in the end, the instant gratification of following my own compulsions is so much sweeter than waiting for those long-term investments? The same investments that society said would give me fulfillment. Why pray when hope is arbitrary? Why pray when in the end there will be nothing to show for it?
Anon and Celestia looked at each other, stunned, their pupils shrunken into pinpricks as the stallion took another breath to continue speaking.
I have seen the world through the looking glass, watched it crack and warble due to the conflicting worldviews I've learned and been taught. I've been told what to love and what to hate. I'm told that in the end my deeds will have morality and weight, but who will weigh those deeds? The cosmos has no need for morality, and The very same ponies who judge my worth on the way I conducted myself will have been reduced to dust long before the stars bleed out. Every part of myself that people judge my worth on, money, looks, intelligence, power, those parts of myself which I'm told to focus on the most, in the ends they will matter the least. In the ends, all those years of trying to appease the collective whole I've been surrounded by will have led me to nothing. The stallion looked up to the ceiling, slumping slightly as a final tear rolled down his eye. All of the things that we've attributed with happiness, they don't matter in the end. Did they even matter in the beginning? Silence hung the air as everyone in the bank, including the guards, stood in complete befuddlement. Then the stallion sighed. That is to say, my girlfriend broke up with me. And as the saying goes, you are what you eat. He sniffled. And I guess I wasn't enough. His sobs began to fill the room as he finally broke down. Anon tossed her gun to the floor.
Just arrest me, damn it.
She sighed.
I should have just sold my body for bits.
She mumbled, her face scrunching up at the puddle of tears that had formed at her hooves.
Great.
Seize her! Every single guard in the bank proceeded to dogpile her. So the plan didn't work. Well, actually it did, kinda. As it turns out, if you're jobless because your cutie mark conflicts with work, then it is possible to get a stipend from the government, which was actually why a charity was being held that day, to build up funds for the disenfranchised. Yeah, Anon could have just asked Celestia for help and it would have been fine. But now she'll be forever known as the mayor that tried to steal from a fundraiser. As it also turns out, robbing a bank is a very serious crime with very serious consequences for anyone involved with said serious crime. However, there is some good news. Because Anon is surrendered, she only got community service. But there was a catch. Her punishment was decided by Celestia. Well, Celestia, much like every other divine being, it seems, has a sick sense of humor. The reason why is because she sentenced Anon to 6 months as a volunteer friendship therapist. Bitch, does she look like a therapist? Anon was 100% sure that she made that up on the spot, that cheeky sun horse. Also, volunteer? Correct Anon if she's wrong, but isn't forced volunteer work just slavery with extra steps? Anyway, so now here she was, sitting on a bench, while the stallion who cried an ocean of tears in the bank sat beside her, eating some soft-serve vanilla ice cream. His name was Debbie Downer, who would have thought, and he was currently trying his hardest not to meet her eyes, his face burning red in embarrassment. Hey, Anon? He mumbled. She groaned in agitation. He'd clearly wanted to ask her something for well over an hour, and it was starting to get annoying.
Yeah, DD?
DD shuffled his hooves, clearing his throat as he finally managed to look Anon in the eyes. Will you go on a date with me?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
That wasn't a no? Anon grumbled.
I'm not gay, alright?
But I'm not a mayor?
No, but I don't like dick.
Then doesn't that mean that you're gay?
Shut up, DD.
Okay. Anon just sighed. This was going to be a long 6 months. I still love the title, The Great Ponvyville Bank Heist. I don't know if that was by mistake or purpose, but I love it being there. Anyway, let's get on to our great donators. Top donators, Dash of Evergreen, Peter Coulthard, J Tin Man, Darkside, and Ponyman. CourierCruz, Strix, Delta Omega, RuneScythe 9852, dospo, Ronnie Dragonwolf, Hunter Norman, Austin Roland, Secret Moon, Tal Rasha, The Toilet Snake, Sword Brethren Mordred, Cerberus, Goulash Eating Hazar, Ronin Wandering, Enderai 63, Random Person Man Guy, Starlight Glimmer, Squiddy Boy, David D. Sanchez, Soul Dragon, Gaggy, Trey, Shadow Drake, Joe Piercy, Alex F., Rainbow Dash, TLK Anderson, TV Killer, John Becker, Leon Reynolds, Raven Speedster, Zach Raquel, Mr. ECU, and Leslie Prickett. Thank you all very much for watching this video, and live life to the fullest.